Hey guys, it's Tess. Welcome back to What Moms Say. Before we get into the episode today, I just wanted to remind you guys to please subscribe to our channel if you're watching on YouTube, and follow us online. We're everywhere at What Moms Say. Also, if you're listening on another platform, please follow us. We would really appreciate the support. It helps us get out there. Also, we've been reading one story a week about moms from Reddit, but we would really love to hear from you guys. So if you have a story about your mom or you want advice or anything like that from a mom, we do want to have our mom back on for that. Please email us. It's whatmomsay@gmail.com. That's WHATD as in Dick Momsay @gmail.com. And also, I wanted to apologize because there's a little bit of technical difficulties in this one again. Like partially through our intro, the battery of the camera died. We are getting another battery, so that won't happen in the future. But there is a part where it says, sorry, technical difficulties if you're watching on YouTube. And then it's just a still shot of Hannah and I staring at each other. So hopefully you can forgive us for that. But we will get that fixed. But other than that, thank you guys for listening to our podcast and liking our videos. We've been having a blast. So I hope you enjoy the episode. Bye. I always had a wedgie back then. Like, I swear.
No, because
It was every instant of the day.
no, it's true. I was telling Tess I was watching some old home movies and we're just like constantly doing cartwheels and like picking wedgies, but especially you. And I was like, kids just be picking wedgies like nobody's business. It doesn't matter who's watching.
I didn't have the right underwear.
I was like, is there something wrong with children's underwear and pants? Like, I don't get wedgies every time I move around, but clearly
Sorry, my ass is so fat. It's just like nom nom nom. Just eats it up. It's so hard to have a fat ass.
do you constantly have wedgies now?
The underwear I buy now does not give me wedgies unless I do a cartwheel.
When's the last time you did a cartwheel?
It was a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
It was at Brian's baseball game. We were on a field and I was with some girlfriends, and I was like, I just miss when you're a little kid and you could just be free and just do a cartwheel. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to fucking do it. So I did one and Alex did one.
And then you picked your wedgie in front of everyone.
No, I wasn't wearing underwear.
I feel like I wear underwear that's like constantly giving me a wedgie, and that's just the state I live in.
Wedgie state?
Yeah, I live in wedgie state. Population 1.
Guys,
It's me.
Welcome back to another episode of What Moms Say.
Hi, daughters.
Hi, daughters. Oh my God.
We are on one today.
I am on one. I want to see if you can guess what I was going to tell you.
Okay.
So Hannah was talking about when I would used to bite her as a kid.
She stopped doing this maybe like a couple years ago.
Because I was a diamond. But you used to always say the same thing to me when I bit you. Do you remember what it was?
Was it a human bite can kill?
Yes. You were like, actually, a human bite can kill. And I was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm trying to kill you right now.
I think it's because Mom told me that, and I had like my life flash before my eyes of every time you bit me. Like after she said that, she's like, if you bite hard enough, a human bite can kill another person.
That fact really, really stuck with you.
Yeah, I was like, she's gonna kill me by biting me.
I never bit hard enough to break skin. You would have to like really bite to kill it. To kill.
That's true. You also would do this thing where you would like dig all of your fingernails in me, so it was like a bite with your hand. Like you would just be like, "Urgh," and just like really.
I don't know why I was so angry as a kid.
I think you were angry and I was a little sneaky, because I remember one time I was really pissed off at you. There was no physical altercation that I remember, but I bit my own arm really hard, and I was like, Mom, Tess bit me.
Oh my God.
And she believed me because you would be biting me a lot.
Yeah, but that was a false allegation.
It was, but I only did it once and I got away with it.
No, it would be this, like, you were like a little psychological with me. Like you would like tease me, like get me riled up to a point where I would be like, "Rah!" And then mom would be like, calm the fuck down.
I was a good rage baiter, I think.
You were a rage baiter.
Yeah.
And I took the bait every time. I was like, all right, time to body slam.
Time to bite a bitch.
Bite a bitch.
Not trying to fight a bitch, trying to bite a bitch.
That should be another one of our shirts. Bitches being ditches and trying to bite a bitch.
Yeah.
Would y'all buy that?
Who would buy that? Raise your hand. There we go.
We helped our mom record backing vocals yesterday for her song.
We did. That was a really fun experience.
That was...
It's like the experience of when you're working on a group project and it's the middle of the night in college or something and you're goofy and loopy, except mom was locked in and we were just hee hee ha ha.
Well, when I first got to the house, she was like, I can't get Logic Pro to work. She's like, I can't get it to work. Ah! And I was like, okay. And I left the room. And then I go, I literally had the same exact crash out over Premiere Pro a month ago.
Yeah, I made the mistake of calling you while you were crashing out because you were trying to edit one of our podcast episodes and you were saying it's not working over text and you were kind of freaking out. So I called you and I just like... held the phone at a distance and you just yelled at your computer for like 15 minutes and I was like, okay. And I was thinking, should I hang up or should I be like, okay, I'm gonna go while you
I think
go
I
through
did
this?
tell you after. I was like, I shouldn't have picked up the call then. Like, you didn't need to be a part of my crash out.
I didn't know how severe it was because you can't read the tone over text all the time.
I have not crashed out like that on a computer since I played Pop Tropica.
We love,
or as I like to call it, Pop Tropica.
Is there a correct pronunciation?
I think it's Pop Tropica, but okay. I said Pop Tropica because that's how I remembered how to spell it. When I was typing in the website.
I wonder if the website is still up. It was a really fun game for any 2000s kids.
It is still up.
Listening.
I check every day.
You still get really pissed off at the game.
It was the superhero island. There were all these islands and you had to solve a mystery on each island. But the superhero island, when you're trying to get the last villain and they're flying.
Final boss battle.
And you gotta fly and you keep getting hit by other things. Oh, by the way, played it as an adult a couple years ago. So easy.
Your kid motor functions are different.
Yeah, I remember playing it on the school computer where mom worked and like crashing out in a similar fashion to what I did recently. And she was like, why are you gonna play it if it makes you mad? If it makes you mad, why would you play it? And I'm like, I've been working all week for this.
Like, I have to finish. I'm almost done. I'm almost there.
I'm trying to accomplish Mount Everest right now.
Yeah. I remember a small crash out I had, not a loud outburst situation, but also at mom's school. I was on a school computer playing this game where you're a vet at a zoo and you're visiting each animal enclosure and you're like giving them checkups and shit. It was really fun, but I remember I had an appointment with a giraffe and the instructions on the screen were get a stool sample, but I did not know what stool was. I was like, I guess a stool is a part of the giraffe. So I was clicking everywhere on the screen, like all over the giraffe's body. I was like, what the hell is a stool? Like, I don't know what this is. And then I eventually just clicked all over the screen and it like little shit went into a little cup. And I was like, okay.
You clicked the butthole.
Yeah.
That's kind of messed up.
It was just on the ground, but I was like, I don't know the medical terminology for shit.
Yeah. Feces.
Yeah. Also, I think I was like in 5th grade or something. I was really upset.
Do you remember when we played that? It wasn't Oregon Trail, but You had to make like the Jamestown colony.
Yeah, we played that in Mom's class. Like she had us play a simulation game where you were building a colony.
But years before we played it in her class, we played it on our own after school. So we already
we had mastered the game. We were like, we know how to.
Yeah, all the other kids were like, how do I? And I'm like, I already got all these beaver furs, you dumb bitch.
It actually was kind of hard. Like you lost really easily.
Yeah, like the Indians would come try to kill you.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm the white man.
You're what?
I'm the white man. I'm trying to sell furs to England.
And that was the whole game.
That was the whole game.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey. Well, do you want to read us a story?
Yeah, let's read a story.
Read a story, Tessie.
I feel really goofy today.
You're a goofy guy.
I'm not a guy.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Okay. All right. This story is coming from Am I the Asshole? Or AITAH.
Okay.
It was not the same as AITA.
I'm not on Reddit enough to know what you're trying to say.
There's like one subreddit called AITA, which means Am I the Asshole? And then they made a second one called AITAH, Am I the Asshole also.
They just put all the letters in
this one.
Okay.
So it's a similar subreddit. I guess maybe the rules are slightly different. Like each subreddit has certain rules you have to follow.
Yeah.
I don't really understand it. I'm pretty new to Reddit. All right.
She's just a girl.
I'm just a girl in the world. All right. Here's the story. Am I the asshole for making a mom pick up her daughter in the middle of the night from my kids' sleepover? This weekend, I had a small birthday sleepover for my 8-year-old daughter and a couple of her friends. The night started completely normal. The girls had snacks, watched movies, and went to bed around 10:30. But around 1:30 a.m., one of them came into my room crying and woke me up. Single mom here, so there was no man in the room, don't worry. She said she was scared and wanted her mom. While I was trying to calm her down, she told me this was her first time sleeping somewhere new, which was unbeknownst to me and caught me off guard. I did my best to try to comfort her. I sat with her and got her a drink, but she kept crying and getting more worked up, repeating that she wanted to go home. I gave it some time, but it wasn't getting any better. So at that point, I felt like it wouldn't be right to force her to stay somewhere she clearly was not happy. I called her mom and asked if she could come pick her up right then and there. Her mom came, but she seemed annoyed. The next morning, she texted me saying she wished I had just waited it out until the morning because now her daughter is embarrassed and might not want to try sleepovers again. Where I'm frustrated is that I feel like I was put in a bad position and destined to fail from the start, no matter what. I wasn't made aware of the fact that this was her first sleepover, and I don't think it's fair to use someone else's home, especially during their child's birthday party, as the guinea pig without giving them a heads up. I'm not mad at the girl at all. I feel really bad for her. But I also don't think it was my job to handle that level of distress all night. But I'm wondering if I should have just stayed up with her a bit longer to see if she'd go back to sleep and try to push through until morning, as the mom said.
Yeah. I think she's not the asshole for doing that. If you have a child crying, I want to go home. Like,
you're like, no, you have to stay.
Yeah. Then it feels like you're trapped. It kind of feels like a traumatizing experience to be begging to go home and being like, no, you're stuck here.
I think the other mom is the asshole because she just didn't want to get up and go over there. She was like trying to have a night without her daughter.
Yeah, I think so too. I think if it's your child's first sleepover, you should say something also. Like, hey, by the way, it's her first sleepover. And then you kind of have to give your child a pep talk.
Yeah. Like, and if they want to go home, you have to come pick them up. If the child asked for the mom and she didn't call her at all, she could also have gotten in trouble for that. Like, my daughter wanted me to take her home and you didn't call me.
Yeah.
So how are you supposed to know what the mom wants you to do?
I think that's kind of par for the course. Like, at every girl sleepover, there comes a point where one of the girls is scared and crying and wants to go home. Like, we've all seen it.
Yeah, it was never me though.
It was never you. Did you ever cry at a sleepover?
I don't think so. Maybe maybe at Tara's house
Okay.
when I was really, really little. But I was always like, I love sleepovers.
I loved sleepovers too. I thought they were so fun.
You were usually with me when we first started doing sleepovers, so I had a member on my team.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm like,
It helps to have sister there.
this bitch is here and she's in my house usually, so it's kind of like I'm home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I always thought sleepovers were fun. There was one sleepover that I cried and had mom pick me up though, and I remember I was so embarrassed by it.
Like this girl.
Yeah, but I wasn't 8. I was in middle school.
Oh my god,
Because-
whose sleepover was it?
It was this girl who I think I was only friends with her in 6th or 7th grade. I don't remember, but she had a sleepover at her house. It was like a, group of girls, standard sleepover, but it was in a really sketchy neighborhood. And I walked into her house and it was just a bunch of adults like drinking beer and smoking cigarettes like inside.
Oh no.
And it was like not just her mom and her dad. It was like her mom, her dad, and like other random people. And I was like, who are all these? They were just like adults chilling on a Friday night, probably. Like, we're just having social time and watching TV. Like, they didn't do anything threatening, but that already felt off for me because I was like, they're smoking cigarettes and cigarettes are bad.
If you're gonna have your daughter's friends come over to your house, it's, I think, inappropriate to have other adults there that none of the parents know, and you're drinking and doing all this other stuff. Like, they have every right to do that if they want, but not when you're having all these young girls over at your house.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
That's
you don't
fair.
know. What if one of your friends tries to do something weird to one of the girls?
Yeah.
If I sent my daughter to a house and I found out there were a bunch of like other adult men like drinking and smoking in the living room, I'd be like, what the F?
Yeah.
Like, you're supposed to take care of my kid for the evening, not party.
Yeah, I guess it was like we were old enough to be self-sufficient. So
Middle school.
Yeah, I know. But anyways, that's
That's
how
the ripe age for getting molested.
Yeah, a couple years later no one's interested.
They're like, wow, you're really developing now.
Ew.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were having the sleepover. I was already scared. For some reason we decided to watch Bambi. So
great. Yeah, y'all were super old enough.
I don't know why we picked that, but
Like, you're like, we're self-sufficient. Couldn't get through Bambi.
no, literally, who can get through that movie? It's so sad. Bambi's mom is getting shot, and the girl that lived at this house was like, yeah, sometimes we hear gunshots in this neighborhood. And I was just like, absolutely not. I have to get out of here. I don't feel safe. So I called mom and was like crying and like, please pick me up. And my excuse that I gave to all my friends at the time was, I really don't like cigarette smoke. It's giving me a headache and it's making me really upset, and that's why I'm crying and freaking out. So yeah, I got picked up.
That's good.
Yeah.
And I'm sure mom was like, no problem. I'm coming to get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is true.
This is a top comment on here. It says, not the asshole. I'd be furious to discover my child had been begging to come home because they were scared and someone kept them against their will.
Yeah.
It's on their parents to guide her through the situation and help her understand her feelings and why she felt what she did. And then make sure they put safety net in place for her next time she tries. As a dad, I'd be extremely grateful to you for sitting with her and treating her with kindness and then calling her to get home. And somebody replied to that and said, my kid is 17, and if she wanted to come home from a friend's house, I'll go get her. No questions asked.
Yeah, I think that is the right mentality to have.
It's weird to be so upset on the situation when you know it's your daughter's first sleepover, first time sleeping not in her house. She's 8. Yeah, she's embarrassed. But once you get to like middle school and there's sleepovers all the time, she's not going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that when I was 8.
Yeah, I get it's an embarrassing moment as a young child, but you were upset and you wanted to go home and you didn't feel good, so that's what you had to do.
Yeah, you had boundaries. Actually, you shouldn't be embarrassed. I think embarrassment is good for the development of a child.
That's true. We all get embarrassed.
Yeah, like all of those like kind of bad feelings, you need to experience them so that you can get to a better place, you know, or understand what your boundaries are, right?
Yeah. Are any embarrassing childhood moments coming to mind for you?
Every moment of my childhood was embarrassing. The most embarrassing things that have happened to me in more recent years in my adulthood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like when I graduated college and I was working at this restaurant, I had to wear dresses. The camera is gone. What does that say? Battery dead?
Yeah.
I wonder how long it's been like that.
Okay. I guess it's another one of those times.
Well, I guess I'll finish this story out and then we'll introduce our guest.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I went to the restroom. I pulled my underwear back up and I walked back to the host stand and I'm standing at the host stand taking phone calls. This is in the middle of the day, by the way. It's like lunch hour. And this woman comes up to me and I'm like, I'm on the phone. Like, you need to wait a second. And she's like looking at me like incredulous about it. And I hung up and I was like, hi, how can I help you? And she was like, your dress is tucked into the back of your underwear. My whole ass was out. And I walked the whole restaurant like that.
That sucks. That sucks. That's like a very classic embarrassing thing to happen.
It was so bad. It's so bad. Like all of these men who were there on their lunch break just saw me.
It would only be a woman to come up to you and let you know.
I know. In the way I was like, give me a second.
You're like being a cunt to her.
And while my ass is still out. She's like, okay. I was like, oh my God. I like immediately took it out. I was like, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, girl. You're looking out for me. Yeah, I can't think of any childhood embarrassing moments, but I've definitely had some memorable adult ones. But we can get to that another time. Why don't you read our guest's bio?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, give her a good little intro.
Guys, our guest today, not only is she a fantastic stand-up comedian here in Houston, Texas, but she's also an artist. She's a photographer. She's also a professor. She has solo exhibitions all over the city all the time. She performs everywhere all the time. She's hilarious. She's amazing. She has mental health issues, which that's in her bio.
I thought you were just ad-libbing.
That'd be so. No, it says in her bio, her visual art and comedy draw from personal life, including living with bipolar disorder and being a mother, and explore vulnerability, discomfort, and the absurdity of everyday life.
Yeah, the way she words it is like way more poetic than what you just
she
said. She
has disorders. No. You wouldn't know.
Okay, please continue.
This person is one of my favorite people in Houston. I'm gonna say that. Like every time I see her, I'm so happy. I'm so happy to talk with her. She has such an interesting like vision of the world, and she's so funny. Go see her live if you ever get a chance.
Yeah, she's awesome.
And we had a great conversation with her.
We did.
Yeah. So give it up for Emily
Peacock.
Life's a bitch, Hannah's gay. Tess got too many bills to pay, so they get together with Lily May and ask each other what mom say. They ask each other what mom say.
Pretty much every podcast I've done with Bob, when I listen back, I'm like, oh no. Because what he used to do is like, it would be like midnight and we'd be out at a bar after a mic and everyone's drunk and he's like, let's go film a podcast.
That's exactly what would happen.
So we're all drunk. On
Yeah,
this
drunk,
podcast.
stoned, on mushrooms, cocaine, all of the above, you know. And my sister did one with me a couple of times, anyways, which is crazy. Yeah.
That's the Real War Stories podcast.
Yeah.
Have you done that one? Okay. Well, hi, Emily. Welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me.
Wait, do you want to clap?
Oh, yeah.
See, now we got everything in order.
We do. We
Yeah.
do. The clap is important.
Oh, except I totally forgot one thing.
Okay.
I like to record. I like to time on my phone so I know when we've hit our end mark.
Yes.
Because this little bad boy only records an hour.
Yeah. Usually the DSLRs do. Yeah.
Yeah. So, can you tell us about Karen?
Yes, Karen and Peacock, my mom. Yeah. So she was the first of 5 girls by my grandmother, Patricia. I forgot her maiden name, but so she had Stubbs was her maiden name. So she was born to my grandmother. My grandfather was in the Korean War when she was born, so he wasn't there. And I remember he wrote this like really beautiful letter to, like, my mom basically when she was born about how he was sorry he wasn't there. So she was one of 5, and so she like took care of, she had to like help raise the other girls, and there was all girls except for my grandfather, who like he was also like kind of a saint too, because he like lived with 6 women and was
God.
like insanely patient and like a good dad, Yeah, and then she went to Catholic school as a young girl, and then when she grew up, she wanted to be a nun. So, she was born in 1953, so grew up in the 1970s, never did weed or, nothing. The first time she saw weed was me, like my weed. So,
What did she say when she saw your weed?
I mean,
What is that?
basically.
Is that oregano?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I got caught with weed so many times. I mean, that was another thing, is that like she had so much patience. I think because she was around, she had to help raise these other kids, and I don't know, she just was like super altruistic. Like just saw the good in people all
What
the
does
time.
altruistic mean?
To see the good in
Okay.
people. Yeah, to just have a
I
good.
hear that a lot, and I'm always too embarrassed to ask.
I would say
Ask it while you're being filmed.
Yeah. Well,
like, I think I got my altruism from her. Like, I usually see the good in people. I hang out with some toxic people, and I'm always like, there's some good in them. You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, I was saying this last night because we watched the Bruce Springsteen movie, and him and his dad had like a really fucked up relationship, and I'm like, it's really weird that evil people aren't always evil.
What do you
Yeah.
mean, evil?
Like, his dad was kind of abusive to
Yeah.
his mother and him,
Yeah.
but he also was like his hero. So
Yeah.
it's like he also had good moments with
It's
his dad. So
complicated.
it's like someone who's evil is not always evil. Sometimes they're kind. Sometimes they like.
Yeah, and I try to meet people where they're at, too, I don't know. Anyways.
Evilness is like the Kinsey scale,
Yeah.
Like,
Are you
it's a
saying gay people are evil?
They are, but it's a spectrum.
It is a spectrum.
No one's 100% good or 100% evil.
Yeah.
On ASMR.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Is your mom from Houston?
No, she's from Port Arthur, Texas,
Okay.
where I'm from. My grandfather, so the industry down there is refineries. So my grandfather worked for Mobil Oil and Gas. I don't even think that's a business anymore, but for like
I've seen
50
gas
years,
stations.
you know what I mean? And so like my grandmother stayed at home with the kids, and he worked in the refinery, and they lived in a 3-bedroom house that everyone had to share a room. And they were very working class people. Yeah. But my mom did end up going to college at Lamar in Beaumont. So, and then my mom got married and had my brother, my half brother, with I forget, I can't even remember her first husband's name, but he was like an alcoholic, so she left him, and then she married my father, which was her high school sweetheart. Like they dated from like 16 to 20 or something like that, and then she met some, they broke up and then met someone else, and then they got back together.
She was like, wow, that was actually the best I could have done.
Yeah, I know. I mean, yeah, even my dad is like, my mom was very protective of us. You know, she really shielded us from like the weirdness of my father, you know. So
What was the weirdness? Can you?
yeah. I mean, I would go as far as to say that my dad is a bit like autistic and he's a boomer. So like, there's just this, you know what I mean? This like mentality that I'm bipolar. So like, you know, there was a lot of signs early on that I was bipolar, you know, like doing drugs at an early age and like suicidal ideation to attempting suicide and just crazy behavior, you know, my entire life. And he was just sort of in denial about that and was just like, you know, be better and don't do drugs and don't have sex. And that's the end of it. There's no conversation sort of thing.
Okay, like straight to the point.
Yeah, and he
no
was
nuance.
no nuance, and he was very strict and like, you know, my half brother lived with us and that wasn't his son and he treated him like shit. So like there was always this tension and my mom did like the best she could to like shield us from all of that, but I was also like I would just leave the house, you know. I was like I would just walk around the neighborhood, go to a park. I just was like I'm not going to be around this like weird tension.
What was her like method of trying to help you through these moments? Like, how did she tackle your drug and?
Yeah, I mean, she just never gave up on me. She was never like, you know, she was always like, I want to help you. I want to get you out of this city. You're too smart for this. Like, she was just like, she just really believed in me and thought that like was destined to like live outside of Port Arthur. And like, I remember we would drive to Houston and she'd be like, you could live here someday, you know, and she just wanted better for me to be, you know, have a better, I get, you know, you always want your kids to do better than you. And I think she wanted that for me and she was just super supportive no matter what I did, which, you know, I think I'm a confident person. Nobody likes to hear that from a woman, but I'm a pretty.
I'd like to hear that from a woman.
You know, I'm a
too.
pretty confident woman. I mean, I'm an artist. We do comedy. Like, you got to have some confidence to do that. And like, I think she gave me that by like her unconditional. She really loved me unconditionally. And when she died, I was like, that's the last person to really give a shit about me. You know, that your mom is kind of I don't know, maybe dads, but maybe not.
They're iffy. They're 50-50.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe dads nowadays or like millennial dads are a little bit more in touch, but like boomer dads, I don't know.
I think dads today are definitely trying to like break generational traumas. I think especially with their sons.
Yeah.
I see that a lot. Like in public, I see a lot of gentle dads with their sons. I'm like, that's cute.
It is cute, and I see it too. You know, as a mom, I see. My husband is very involved, more than my father was, and stuff like that, in anything really. So yeah, it is. I think things are changing for sure in a good way. Yeah,
That's good. I think there was a study done on how much more time fathers spend with their children that are millennial dads.
It's because they're unemployed.
yeah. Oh my God, totally. Yeah.
Yeah, they could be unemployed and also be not at home.
They don't work anymore. They're like, I don't want to be the breadwinner, and I want you to still take care of
Dude,
the
I'm
kid.
the breadwinner. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, which is, you know, I'm happy to provide for that feels good to be able to to provide insurance for my whole family. And I don't know, it's like, oh, look at me. I'm crazy, but I still did it, you know. And I think that's like, cause my mom, she just like, when I went to college, she was like, you're going to college here's the application, sit down and do it. You know what I mean? And yeah, I don't know. I would be in jail probably.
You did say you were arrested twice before the age
Yes,
of 18?
I was arrested twice before the age of 18. So the first time I was arrested was in Port Arthur. I walked into an apartment being raided by the police. It was my best friend's apartment, and we were fucking partying all night. I must have taken like 6-7 Xanax that night. Went home with some dude. His mom caught us. I think it was riding his face, and his mom walked in.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And you hadn't fallen asleep.
No.
That's
And-
impressive that you took 6 Xanax and you rode a man's face.
Dude, I thank you. And that I didn't die. And then he dropped me off at my friend's apartment the next morning, and I was still fucked up, you know, of course. And I remember him being like, I really like you, you know. And I was like, oh my God, are you out of your mind? You know what I mean? Like, this is, no, I'm getting out of the fucking car. And then I go up to the apartment complex, and a police officer answers the door, and he knows my name. He's like, come on in, Miss Peacock. I was like, oh, fuck. And then he searches me, and I have a pipe in this purse, and I dump everything out, but I hold the pipe at the bottom of the purse so it doesn't come out. But then I set the purse down, and it was like clunk. And he was like, what's that? And I was like, nothing. I was just talking mad shit because I was fucked up. I was like, you're not even a police officer. He was like, I'm a detective, you know. And I was like, ah. And he was like,
trying to roast him.
yeah. And he was like, I don't care what happens, you're going to jail. That's what he told me. And then they found the pipe in my purse. But then he searched the apartment, and he found like a meth pipe and an Altoids can with my ID in it, which was my friend's, but it had my ID in it. Anyways. So I was arrested for that, and I was put on probation. And then I went to college. Like, I graduated high school and went to college immediately. My mom was like, you're starting summer school. So I graduated in May. I started summer school and college in June. And then I think in August that year, I got fucked up going to the club in Huntsville where I was going to school. And I was drinking leftover. I wasn't 21. I was only 18. And I was drinking leftover drinks on the table, you know, whatever.
Oh, no.
Whatever I can find. And a guy saw me, a police officer saw me and saw that I had like a wristband on or whatever. And I ran from him. And he caught me on the dance floor, like not tackled me, but grabbed me, you know, and put me in the back of a cop car. But then I cried and cried and cried and said, I'm on probation. Please don't. No. And he let me out.
Sometimes, as a woman, crying is your biggest superpower.
I will use any means necessary. As a woman, you have to. Use your sexuality, use crying. I don't fucking care. We got to get ahead in this world. You know what I mean?
I cried once when I got pulled over. This was really bad. This is when I was smoking cigarettes still, and I had been smoking the cigarette. I was going like 5 miles over the speed limit. Mm-hmm. This guy pulled me over, and I put the cigarette out at my like on the window. He saw that, and he thought I'd been smoking weed, and he was talking to me about it, and I was like crying. I still had the cigarette bed. I was like, no, I swear I'm on my way to work. I work at Kumon. And like he let me go, but the thing was I had like 20 weed brownies in my back seat.
Shut the fuck up.
So if he had searched my car, that's like pounds and because they don't weigh it based off how much weed is in it. They weigh it based off the weight. So if it's edibles, that would have been like 20 pounds of weed.
Why'd you have that many brownies with you?
I made them.
You were taking them for the kids at Kumon.
Tutoring.
I was distributing them out. I was very broke at the time.
Yeah.
I was college, so I was like...
I sold weed in college, too.
Yeah. I sold the desserts
kind. See, I could never get that science down, but I worked at Subway, and you could come to Subway and buy weed from me. I'd bring it to Subway. And
eat fresh.
And I'd make you your sandwich. And then at the very end, I'd slide the sandwich and the weed into the bag. And then I'd give it to you, and you'd only pay for the weed, right? You'd give me $30 for the weed, and you got a free sandwich.
Oh my God.
It was a free sandwich and a bag of weed. Yeah, I was fucking awesome. Killing it.
You're going to need that sandwich.
Smart.
Yeah.
This episode is sponsored, by the way, by Subway.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, fuck Jared from Subway. We want Emily from Subway.
Yeah, that's right.
She doesn't touch kids. She gives you weed.
That's right. And it was college, so it was like a Subway on the college campus. So we were like doing mushrooms, smoking weed in the freezer. It was so much fun working there. I've worked in so many like I've worked at Sonic, Golden Corral. I've worked at a lot of food places, and I've done so many drugs in walk-in freezers. Like it's like where you go to do drugs when you work in a restaurant industry.
Absolutely.
You have like a Pavlov's response, like it's cold outside, and you're like, I need to smoke.
Sorry, get itching. Yeah.
The first time I worked in a restaurant, I was like so shocked with the amount of drug use. Cause I had just graduated college. Which I probably shouldn't have been shocked. That's all I did in college.
Yeah.
But I remember walking to the back of the kitchen, and there was a guy working there who was the cousin of the manager. He was a terrible employee, but nepotism.
Nepotism.
And he pulls his bag out, and he pulls this gigantic bong out of his bag. It hadn't been wrapped or anything. I'm like, I can't believe it's not broken. And just like takes the biggest fucking
rip off of
it. Like right there in the kitchen. And I was like, okay. We're doing
I'd have been
this.
like, rock and roll, bitches, let's go. I have landed my dream Yeah.
He was always so high, and one time he came up to me at the host stand. He was like, "I'm gonna show you this magic trick," and he took a toothpick and a napkin, and he's like, "Okay, hand it to me." He's like, "Now break it," and I like broke it everywhere. Blah blah blah. He's supposed to like unleash it, and there's a fully formed toothpick.
Yeah.
He did not get it right. It was just the broken. And I was like, okay, what was that?
You shouldn't try to do magic tricks when you're high.
Yeah,
No,
it's true. It's difficult.
It's not gonna work.
Yeah.
You almost pulled it off. I felt like the story where you're holding the pipe in your purse
I
upside down
did.
was kind of giving an illusion.
Yes, exactly.
Trick.
Ooh,
Yeah.
there's no
Ooh,
pipe in
nothing.
here.
Now
Yeah.
there is one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You win.
Exactly. Exactly.
Amazing.
I wanted to ask you about this thing where you said family vacations.
Yes. Okay. So we would go to Schlitterbahn every year. You know, I grew up in Port Arthur. We didn't have a lot of money, so vacations were Schlitterbahn in
Good
New
time.
Braunfels. And when you're a kid, it is fun. Now it's disgusting to go to a water park.
Yeah.
It's yeast infection.
Last time I went with my family, I got out of the whirlpool and there was a Band-Aid stuck to me, someone else's Band-Aid. So I was like, get the fuck out of here. But okay, so we would go to Schlitterbahn every year, and I have this very vivid memory of we were all trying to get on top of these of the inner tubes to go on this ride, and it starts to get narrow and narrower, and it almost takes you up on a conveyor belt. Well, my mom fell off of her tube, and my mom is 5 foot tall, my size, but she was a thicker woman, and she was having a really hard time getting back on her inner tube, so much so that she was tumping over, and everyone around her was laughing so hard, and then she started laughing, and she couldn't do it, and it was just we were all hysterically laughing at this woman. And she finally got on her inner tube at the very last minute before almost being sucked under the conveyor belts.
Some physical comedy.
Yeah, it was so physical, and she just had this really great laugh where she would have a hard time breathing, and she'd be like, and when she would do that, I would yell out, "We got a wheezer!" And that's when I would know that, I don't know, I just loved making her laugh. I don't know. I felt like she wasn't all depressed or anything, but I feel like she just was busy, and she had 3 kids. She worked as a teacher, and I just loved making her laugh. I don't know. I don't think that's super uncommon, but
Do you think that's the reason you became a comedian?
I mean, I think I became a comedian maybe because of that, plus all the trauma that I've been through, just
That's what'll
being
do
bipolar and putting myself in situations, that I shouldn't be in, and shit happening from that. Yeah. But I'll tell another story too about her. So whenever I had my mouth wired shut, so I used to have a really bad underbite like this, and I had surgery where they broke my jaw on both sides, and they shaved 1/4 of an inch off of it, and then put it back together. I have 2 screws on my face, and they wired my mouth shut for 1 month. And I couldn't eat, and I started to go kind of crazy. And I held myself hostage with pliers. I was like, I'll fucking do it. I'm going to cut these fucking wires.
And you couldn't talk either,
No,
right?
I had to talk like this. I'm pretty good at talking like this,
Okay.
though. And they ended up prescribing me Valium, but my mom called the doctor and was crying. She was like, she's holding herself hostage with pliers. We can't do this. Just and hysterical because, when you're smelling food and you can't eat, dude, for a month. I weighed 80 pounds by the time it was over.
That's awful.
It was awful. I have a jawbone tattooed on me because of this.
What were they expecting you to do for sustenance?
I had to suck through a straw through the crevices of my teeth.
God, smoothies and
Smooth. I was at the end of it. My mom would let me blend anything by the end of it. I was blending beans and rice and salsa and enchiladas into a savory smoothie and drinking it. And also too, my mom didn't let me, I had to stay at home for 2 weeks or something like that. But then I started to kind of go out with my friends, and my mouth was wired shut. I'm depressed. I started snorting drugs like it was going out of style. And everyone thought it was hilarious that my mouth was wired shut, but I was still doing all these drugs. So they'd give me all these free drugs. And I was super popular.
It is hilarious.
But I was getting so fucked up that my friends had to carry the pliers around in case I vomited, and it was really stressing them out because if I vomited, I'd choke on my own vomit.
Yeah.
So my friends, after a while, they were like, "We can't hang out with you anymore. This is insane. It's stressing us the fuck out." But I remember being fucked up, and all my friends, we went to someone's house to stay the night, and everybody was eating. They had the munchies, and I couldn't eat. So I like drank my friend's cereal milk. After they were done eating the cereal, I like drank the cereal milk. Yeah.
I feel like that surgery should not be allowed.
Yeah. I wonder if they do it differently now, but I have seen other people on Instagram go through it.
It just seems
That's
so like middle age.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Like,
Torturous.
It does seem like torture.
Torture.
It was, and it was like I started my senior year with my mouth wired shut, and also one night I got too fucked up towards the end, and I shaved my eyebrows off. I don't understand what happened. I was trying to shape them, but I shaved them clear off, and so I had my mouth wired shut and no eyebrows. That's when the free drugs stopped. Everybody was like,
Whoa, we can't hang out with you anymore.
Yeah, we were on board for a while, but now
this has
it's
gone too far.
Yeah.
And like,
now we don't know what you're thinking because
yeah, exactly.
all your emotions.
Listen, my friend would draw them on for me before school started, and I always looked surprised. Like I was always like, ah! You know what I mean? Like it was bad, yeah. But on my mother's deathbed, like her only regret was that jaw surgery. She was like, I would never do that again, Emily. You were a complete fucking terror. Because I was like, if I'm miserable, I'm gonna make all you motherfuckers miserable.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
taking you down with me.
I was, and I remember going like back to school shopping at the Katy Mills Mall, which was a big deal for us. I'm from Port Arthur, and we went to the food court or something like that, and I just lost my mind. Like I was like, I was so hungry, and my mom was like, got me a milkshake, and I just made it the whole trip fucking miserable because I was so miserable. Anyways, I feel bad about that shit.
No, when I'm hungry, it's a problem for
Yeah.
people. So I can't imagine.
I don't
Going
even
through that
know.
for
Like,
a
I don't
month.
think I could do it now. You know, I don't even know if I could do it now. Yeah.
No, the hangry thing is big.
The hangry thing is big. I mean, and I looked like a toothpick by the end of it. I remember I took my senior ID photo, and I had no eyebrows. My face was still swollen, so it was like a swollen potato face with no eyebrows, and like, but my neck and this area were just insanely small looking, so it looked really strange. Yeah,
Literally like you were tortured.
yeah. Anyways,
wow.
yeah.
Did your mom see your comedy ever?
No, I didn't. So I started doing comedy basically because she died. So, you know, I'm sure.
How many years ago was that?
When I was 30. So 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I did comedy, but I did it, you know, maybe 3 or 4 times a year or something like that. But she died, and I always wanted to do stand-up comedy, and I always wanted to make a film. And so, you know, when someone dies, you reevaluate your life, you know, and say like, oh God, I'm only here for a short time. What do I want to do? And so I did comedy. I had my friend Nick Merriweather, who was also a visual artist.
Yeah, I know Nick.
Yeah, he was like, kind of coached me a little bit, and went up at Rudyard's. Dusty was the host, you know, and did it for the first time, and it went pretty well. You know, it was one of those times where the first time went well, and then the second, third, through the 10th time went badly. But
You were chasing the high.
yeah, but it was good. And I
Yeah.
told the story of my mouth being wired shut and shaving my eyebrows off and the free drugs and all of that. That was the
Yeah.
story. So.
Yeah.
So it went pretty good. But yeah, and then after that I made a film shortly after that. So because she was also in I'm an artist, you know, I would say I'm a professional artist and amateur comedian, but like she was in my artwork, you know, she would be my assistant. I think she never really did art or was super creative or had that opportunity maybe to be. And so I think she really enjoyed doing that. But also too, I'll say this, so you know, I photographed my body nude, and I photographed her partially nude, and that like there was parts of my family that were like so upset about that like they wouldn't let their kids hang out with me because of that. They thought I was some sort of pornographer or something. These are not pornographic images. It's like
Yeah.
art history.
Yeah, nobody photographs their mom in a pornographic way.
No,
Unless
I
something
think
went really
oh
wrong.
my
Yeah,
god,
that's
good
true.
point, Tess. Good point, Tess.
There are famously a lot of naked people in art.
Absolutely. Oh, it's but you know,
That's all museums are is naked ladies.
oh, I know,
And men.
But it, you know, to my family who knows, for that side of the family who knew nothing about art, I don't know. It was like, you know, so I got her in trouble with my family because of that. I felt really bad about that, but it was okay. I just had to go and apologize I had to do a bunch of apologizing, which
How did they find out about it?
so I had a thesis show, and like my grandparents went, my family members went and they saw it, and so they were just like, and it was not, God, it was nothing. It was just nothing. It was just like me standing there with like my breast exposed or something like that. It was nothing.
Yeah. It's not as bad as Fleabag when she's like, guess which penis is your father's penis?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
And she's like, that one. She's like, yes.
Oh my God. I
correct.
love Fleabag, dude.
Yeah, it's so good.
So good. Yeah.
Yeah. What was the process like of having your mom be a part of that art project? Was that like a fun
Yes, it was so fun.
bonding time?
Absolutely. Like, I did this project where I redid Diane Arbus's images. She's one of my favorite photographers, but I read them as self-portraits with my family. And so it was like this combination of me, you know, my family and her getting to know my favorite photographers, but also it was just really rewarding. It was fun to work with her. I mean, yeah, like I said, she was such a patient, loving person. I really couldn't have asked for like a better mom, which, yeah, I got lucky that way.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you feel like you bring the quality she had as a mother to your own child?
Yeah, that's a good
You
question.
Try to channel her?
Yeah, Emily is our first mom who's not our mom.
Yeah,
Like, that's true.
yes. Which I never wanted a child ever, and never wanted to get married. Here I am on my second marriage with a child, you know. But yes, yeah. I mean, so I got pregnant, and I think part of I had just gotten married. We'd only been married a month, and you know, I did not really want to have a kid at that point. But also, too, I think losing my mom made me reevaluate that decision to have the child or not. And ultimately, because I was in a loving relationship and he wanted to have a kid, you know, I decided to do it. And then it changes your life in more ways than I can even explain in words, in a good way. And then you have this whole new respect for your mom, you know what I mean? Because you realize how fucking hard it is to keep another human being alive. And, you know, I'm trying to shape a young white man in a sensitive way, you know, and I take that shit seriously, and it's a lot. And being bipolar adds a whole nother fucking layer of it, because it's just more, it's difficult for me to balance all of that. I don't know. But yes, I try to channel her. I won't be able to do her justice, I feel like. But yes, I definitely try to channel her and like her patience and calmness and, you know, believing in Indiana and letting him be who he is. Because ultimately, she always just let me be who I was, you know?
Yeah.
He's so cute. He looks just like you.
And I see I don't see it, but I don't know. I also don't hear my accent, so.
He's 9 now? Or?
He'll be 9 in April, yeah.
Okay. Do you... I was gonna ask, like, what has been your favorite part so far of, like, age-wise?
I mean, I
with
really
him?
like now, honestly.
Yeah.
The baby stage was insanely hard for me. I had postpartum depression, and it's like, it's so boring and terrifying having a newborn baby, and that's a bad combination. Boring and terrifying.
Yeah, that is.
You're like, tell me what you
I
want.
need feedback, motherfucker. I need feedback. Are you hungry? Yeah. So and now it's like, you know, we're talking about music. We're watching movies together and talking about the movies, and I don't know. It's I like it more and more because he's more of a human being, and I don't know. Kids are annoying as all hell, dude. They're so annoying, and you're just like, shut the fuck up. Louis C.K. has a joke where he's like, I love my kid, but they've never said anything important, ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you feel that way. You're just like, he's just talking to me about Minecraft and shit, and I'm just like, I don't fucking care, you know?
Yeah.
I have to...
You have to act
And
interested.
I do.
Yeah.
I have a good way of... I know that... I, like, read a book about how to be a better listener, and it's like you repeat the last word of what they say, and I do that to him. I'm like, yeah, the pig? Cool. Yeah, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, it's important to make sure they're listening, but I feel like they will get to a certain age where they are going to teach you stuff. It's just not going to be at like 8 years old.
For sure.
Because you're
for
like,
sure.
I know everything you
Yeah,
don't
I know exactly. But I mean, he does, you know, he's into rocks and crystals and dinosaurs, and he'll tell me some facts every now and then that I don't know, and it's so fun to just like relive your childhood a little bit through your kids, of just like watching the cool movies, reading them all the books you like, you know, it's fun to do that. Yeah.
That's a good place. I feel like if you're into rocks and dinosaurs, you're gonna be a good person.
Yeah, for sure. And I've said this, like, I've bragged about this before, but my son's never had a tablet or anything like that. Like, I don't, I hate the screen. I talk about,
kids.
yeah, it's insane. And so, like, you know, if we're in the car, motherfucker, bring your Legos in the car and play with them. You know what I mean? That's what I did. I looked out the fucking window, you know, like, and was in my imagination. So he's really good at, like, playing pretend and all of that. But he's also like an only child, which is like, oh God, how do you make an only child not a spoiled brat, you know?
Yeah.
These are things I think about.
I was talking about this with my boyfriend the other day because I was like, if we ever have money, I don't want our kids to be rich kids, you know?
Yeah.
Like, those are like the worst, most entitled children on the planet. And he's like, I guess we can just pretend we're poor.
Yeah.
If we do have money.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, let's cosplay being poor
That's
for our
hilarious.
children.
There's gonna be food on the table, but you're not gonna have.
He was like, we basically know how to do that now. We're doing it now, so just
Yeah.
keep living like this.
Exactly.
It's funny.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, Indiana, like, we live in a small renovated auto mechanic shop that's very tiny. So, like, he already lives this weird kind of, like, lifestyle, and two artist parents. So, I don't know. We'll see how he turns out.
Does he show any interest in doing art or
Oh,
stand up?
Not stand up so much, but art, of course. Yeah.
He knows you do stand up, right?
Yeah, for sure.
How do you explain that to a child?
Probably not well. I mean, I told him I get on stage and tell jokes, and he knows about roasting, you know, a little bit. Yeah, like I roasted him. He'll be like, roast me, and I'll be like, what did I say to him? You look like you forget how to read mid sentence. That's what he's 8, and he is not a great reader, but he loves it. You know, we have a good time. We're always cracking up. You know, like, again, I love to. You know, I'm sure Tess, like, I love to make people laugh. So, like, I'm constantly trying to do that to him, because, like, hearing his belly laugh is like, it's so good. You know, yeah.
Yeah, it's really cute. It's really cute when little kids laugh, especially when they're really little, because they'll scream. They're like,
yeah. Yes. I have this great video of making Indiana laugh just by, like, me sneezing, you know. It was like when he was a baby. It's like, it's just the best hearing. I mean, laugh is just the best thing, that sound.
It is. I think, like, little kids have such, like, wild, crazy laughs, and at some point while you're growing up, you try to mute it, and I hate that.
Yeah. You try to, make it smaller, or you're more self-conscious about it.
So I think adults who have the best laughs are the ones that never did that. Like, when I hear Corliss laugh,
or Dan Hornstein.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is probably how you've always sounded.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
And it's like, it's the best, because you know exactly who it is. I don't know. I like it when I'm on stage and I hear a Corliss or somebody laugh.
She's my favorite person to hear laugh. She will laugh if a joke has potential.
No, she's a good audience member.
Like, she told me this once. She was like, if I think a joke has potential, I'm gonna laugh at it because I want that comic to know there's something there, even if, like, the rest of the audience isn't laughing. And I'm like, you've probably saved a lot of lives.
I think she's done that. I can say that she's done that for me, for sure. So yeah, that's awesome. That's really, like, kind of her to do that.
Yeah,
and being so self-aware of that.
Thanks for laughing at the jokes you've heard me tell a million times in a row.
She's a real one.
Yeah, she is.
The realist.
Yeah.
How woo-woo do you feel like you are?
Woo-woo? What do you mean?
Like
tarot, crystals.
I'm not spiritual at all. I'm not spiritual at all. My mother was religious. I mean, Methodist. We were raised Methodist, but I'm an atheist.
So you don't even believe in, like, ghosts or anything?
No, I'm not spiritual at all. I don't know. I'm not sentimental. I'm not spiritual. I'm very realistic. You know, I'm always in an existential crisis for the most part. You know, I'm always thinking of, I don't know, why we're here, what matters, it doesn't matter, nothing matters. You know, I'm always in this state of questioning that. But yeah, I'm not spiritual at all. And my mom was religious, and I remember, like, she'd be like, pray with me on her deathbed, and I'd be like Googling prayers, like, you know. But she was also knew that I was an atheist and was okay with that. Like, she was never, I think sometimes she wanted me to go to church on Christmas or something, and I would do it. You know,
she wasn't worried about saving your soul.
She never mentioned it, maybe. But, like, when she died, she was like, you have to, she kind of told me, you please take care of your sister, please take care of your father. Like, she looked at me as somebody, who would be, try to help my family. I don't know. I think she had confidence in me and that I was capable of, I took care of her more than anyone else in my family. Like, I bathed her, changed her diapers, like, was not afraid to do that when other members of my family were. And
so I'm assuming she was sick for a long time.
No,
then.
6 months. I mean, that felt like a long time, but in all reality, it's not long at all. But yeah, she got diagnosed with a brain, like, she started, forgetting things and having headaches all the time and kind of being disoriented. And she finally got an MRI, and it was like she had like a fist-sized tumor in her brain. Oh my gosh. And so after that, it was like, she got a biopsy. It was stage 4. They told us what it was, but they don't tell you that you have like 6 months to live. They're like, we're gonna fight it. And I remember pulling the doctor aside and being like, I looked this up. It doesn't look good. She's going to die, right? And he was like, yeah. I was like, why aren't you saying that? You know what I mean? Like, and my dad was like in shock, and he just kept saying like, how'd she get it? How'd she get it? And it's like, they don't fucking know, man.
Yeah, they're trying to cure it.
Yes. And so like, I remember.
You can't ask a doctor that, unfortunately.
Yeah, so then she had a biopsy, and then, I don't know. They started radiation, but then her intestines burst because of other issues she had digestive, and then she was bedridden, and then, yeah, she died after that. So that was insanely rough, and your family acts crazy whenever someone's dying. And she was like the matriarch of the family, so her 4 sisters, and then, me, my sister, her son, her nephew, like her grandchildren. And everybody's acting a certain way, and they want things done a certain way, and I don't know. It was crazy. I felt like I aged 10 years during that process.
Yeah, it's like an Obama administration.
Yeah.
Before he went into office and after.
Yeah, I miss him.
Oh, God, the best.
He was so hot.
I know, and so charismatic and funny.
Yeah. I know. I'm like, you guys picked the ugliest dude. I have a new bit about this in my stand-up. I'm like, it doesn't make sense how ugly Trump is. Like, you should not have many followers.
Yeah, we usually elect handsome presidents. It's like,
I'm like, our guy was hot. What's wrong with y'all?
Yeah.
He's like the president of the people, and the people that vote for him are ugly.
It's true. Inside and out.
If you voted for Trump, you're an
ugly.
It's
I mean, I kind
mostly
of
true.
Yeah, it is true.
At least on the inside.
That's why you're mad at the world,
dude.
And just exude hate. You know,
I'm so happy Kristi Noem's husband is a
with them
titties.
With them titties. Andy showed it to me. I was like, oh my God. And then Andy was like, look at those nipples. They were like crooked on there, just like, oh my God.
I know someone was like, and the boobs weren't even in the right place. The nipples were crooked. And I was like, okay. Sometimes nipples are crooked. That's true.
You're offended.
Don't be shitting on that part. Now you're just shitting on women again. I want to shit
How
on
did we
Kristi
get
Noem.
back here? Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes they migrate.
It's true. Sometimes they're real low.
I'll be in the gym sometimes because the sports bra I wear is like it's a little bit too small for me because it was my mom's, and like I'll look in the mirror and my nipples are in like the weirdest places, and I'm like, oh my God, like everyone's seen this. Like,
yeah.
Like everyone in the gym is like, that's that weird nipple girl.
I feel you. I mean, I breastfed Indiana for a year, and so my nipples, I feel like they're just always hard because they're bigger than they used to be, and like I feel like they show through things, and like because they're big, they'll get like folded. You know what I mean? Like it'll fold back. And it looked funny, and I'm like, my nipples folded in. Let me iron that out a little bit.
Oh my God. This is like scaring me about like ever breastfeeding. I'm like, oh.
There's this girl on TikTok who like keeps a running list. She'll find videos of women who talk about their pregnancy and what happened with their body, and she adds it to like a list of reasons why she does not want to ever get pregnant.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, how did your
Here's the thing. Here's the
How
thing.
did
is,
your
like,
body recover?
Here's the thing.
Are
Is
you
that
okay?
like I made it through? Yes,
Yeah.
but like I don't even think about labor or any of that shit or
Yeah.
breastfeeding or any of that shit anymore. Like because you have to be so present in the moment. Like all that shit feels like distant. It's so distant. I never think about it.
See, I hear that
Yeah.
from a lot of women. They're like, once you get past it, you don't think about it again. But our mother, brings it up. She's like, oh, yeah. Like, if we make fun of each other and like, you were adopted, and she's like, no, I vividly remember being in labor with you for 20 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I was in labor for 27 hours. It was not fun.
27?
Yeah, I was starving afterwards. But like, cause they'd only eat.
Isn't that also the name of that movie?
27 hours, yes, where he
Yeah.
gnaws his arm off. That was
Yeah,
me. Yeah. But you know, because labor is hard, but having a newborn baby is immensely harder. I'm not gonna lie. Like, so you go straight from that, your body's in shambles, to like not sleeping and trying to keep this fucking helpless thing alive. So like that becomes the priority. You've already forgotten about the hellish thing that you went through, you know. But I had him vaginally, so that I think a C-section would be scary. But at that point, you're like, get the fucking thing out. Like you're so ready for it to come out.
27 hours, especially.
But even after 9 months,
Yeah.
9 months, you were like, get this thing out. And I'm sure it's designed that way, right? But I was so scared for labor, like so scared, reading about it nonstop. But then when it came, I was like, let's fucking go. I'm ready. You're so big. You're so uncomfortable. You can't sleep that you want it out. Yeah.
How was the experience of being pregnant? Like, did you have a lot of cravings or any?
Not really. I didn't enjoy it. Like I was very sick at the beginning. But then, you know, there was, for a while, it was kind of fun, but I have no torso whatsoever. Like, and so it was like jutting out of me, and it was, I don't know. I did not enjoy being pregnant. No,
It looks uncomfy.
it was uncomfortable. I mean, it's amazing. Like I made a human being, and that's amazing. And I feel like there is this like, oh, I fucking did it, you know? Like visceral thing about it, but also too, you become part of this club of everyone who's had children, and you just like, when you just like nod to each other like, I fucking get it, you know what I mean? Of like anyone who's had kids, like you just get it now with them, and that feels nice to have joined this giant club of people. But it's also very isolating, like having a child. I made a painting one time that said like the definition of irony is creating the most isolating thing I've ever done was create another human being. And like, because no one wants to come over when you have a newborn baby. And I don't know if you really want people to come over. You're a mess, but like, I don't know. I'm an artist and a comedian. Being a mother is not something that's prevalent in those communities for the most part. So like, most of my friends didn't know what to fucking do when I had a kid, and I lost friends, you know?
Go see your friends after they give birth. I think that is so important. I think that's why a lot of women experience postpartum depression. It's not just because of a hormonal change. I think it is because like
It's lack of
people
support.
don't give a fuck about it. They're like, they only care about the baby.
Yeah.
You're like, you're the one who pushed it out and like grew it and did all this like crazy stuff.
And your body's like in shambles. Like I think your body doesn't even go back to normal after so many years. Like I think it's like years before your hormones balance out. Your body's just, I mean, it took me, I don't know. It took me years to get back to my normal body, and it's still not the same. I have stretch marks on my stomach, you know. It's like, but that's fine. I don't get. It's fine. I don't really care that much.
Yeah.
It's not like I think about it on a daily basis or anything.
No,
you know?
no. But I do think there should be more of an emphasis on like, you know, being there for the mom, especially after, like, fuck a baby shower. Send her to a spa after the birth.
Yeah. Since then, I always like check in with moms. You know, I don't know. I've had this new, especially at the beginning. It's so hard, dude. At the beginning, the lack of sleep is like, I mean, they use lack of sleep as a form of torture. So like, it drives you to insanity. I feel like, and if you're breastfeeding, unfortunately, guess who has to get up with the baby? You know, you do.
So true.
Yeah, but it is also like, I will say, like, our house flooded during Hurricane Harvey in Indiana. I think was 3 months old or something like that.
Oh my God.
And I will say that, like,
that's a natural disaster. On top
yes,
of
on
all
top
that.
of all that, and we had to like go stay with a friend for a while everything was being, you know, dealt with and rebuilt. We basically had to rebuild his room, and And being able to breastfeed, like not worrying about formula or anything like that. Like I was the one feeding him, even though things were crazy. Like I don't know, it was not, there are a lot of perks about breastfeeding.
Yeah.
I think I saw a video about this. Like the husband like woke up, got the baby, and just put it on the mom
Oh, there you go.
while she was sleeping.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'd be cool with that.
Yeah.
Like, don't wake me up.
Yeah, just get in there.
Latch
yeah.
'em on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That'd be a good way around it for sure. I'm just looking through
Yeah.
our things here that you put. You wrote that she helped you with divorce?
Yes, I think because she went through a divorce, like her first marriage ended because he was an alcoholic. My first husband was also an alcoholic.
How long were y'all married?
We were married for 5 years. I got married when I was 21, and I think we were finally divorced by the time I was 27. Or, yeah, I think we were married 5 years, and we were together for 8 years or something like that. And I love the shit out of that man. He was an amazing artist, handsome as all get out, like looked like Brad Pitt to me. And we were both undiagnosed bipolar artists, so it was
Fun.
good times, fucking wild good times. But it just got out of hand, and he started to kind of be jealous of me as an artist, like getting things and him not getting things. And I was just like, if you're going to be like that, I got aspirations, if you're going to
I think it's
be
really
like
hard
that.
for a man and a woman to be together, well, if they're in the same field and the woman is more successful.
Yeah.
Like, I see that happen time and time again. Like, a woman can handle the man being more successful, but it's rare that it goes the other way.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, so like whenever I told her, I think I'm going to get a divorce, she was like, okay, why don't we move out, like get your stuff out. Why don't we put it in a storage place, move in with your sister, but like she just was like, let's go, get out of it if you need to. She was never made me feel bad about it. You know what I mean? She was just like, if you want to get out, do it now, is kind of like what she was saying. And I'm glad that I did. So yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go, mom. Oh, sorry.
No, you're okay.
I know. I'll say this. My mother was a terrible cook. That's kind of my only complaint about this woman.
I know, she sounds perfect.
Honestly, she like, I couldn't have asked for a better mom. I really couldn't have. And I like, don't take that for granted. And I knew that even when I went to college, I wrote my mother letters being like, I'm so sorry for how I was as a teenager. Like, I'm so sorry for what a piece of shit I was. Cause I was a piece of shit.
Was she like, yeah.
Yeah, she was like, it's okay, I love you, she took it in stride. But one time on Thanksgiving, she put Red Hots in the sweet potatoes, the candy Red Hots.
Whoa.
And it was disgusting.
Yeah,
wonder
I already
what
don't like-
inspired her to do
She
that.
saw it on Pinterest, she saw it on Pinterest and made a poor decision. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I already don't like sweet potatoes on Thanksgiving. Like, I don't like the sweet. I like
It's
a
like
savory
dessert.
sweet potato.
Yeah, but it's like dessert. It's straight up dessert with the marshmallows and everything on it. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is dessert. But I'm going to eat it. But the Red Hots, like all the redness came off of them and just made the redness, the sweet potato around it red. And then they were white because they had lost all of it. So it was like these chewy white things in the...
Yeah, that sounds wrong.
It reminds me of, do y'all know the page Josh and Mama?
Mm-mm.
It's like this son, he always films his mom. She makes the grossest stuff to eat.
Yeah.
Like white trash, like everything out of a can.
Yeah, dude, that's what I grew up on. Okay, so my mom made tuna casserole, like hamburger helper, tuna casserole. I can't even eat tuna because, like, that's how much tuna casserole we did. We ate salads that were iceberg lettuce with ranch on them. Like, I did not know green beans came in a can. I didn't know green beans didn't come in a can until I went to college. And I was like, oh my God, you can buy just green beans out of a can? Because I grew up on all, like, processed foods. That's, like, what I grew up in Port Arthur. And, yeah, bologna and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, the ultra processed. Did she ever do the pie made out of soda?
No, like a Jell-O thing made out of soda?
Yeah, it's like you mix Coke with, it's like the weirdest substance I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. It's pretty gross. But yeah, Jello molds. She wasn't in. She wasn't. Couldn't. I don't know if she could have done that actually. Like she was
Yeah, poverty meals.
poverty
That's
meals.
that's what it is. What's y'all's go-to poverty meal? You ever have a?
Like
Have you ever lived in poverty?
No.
I mean, usually I can live off yogurt. And there was a year that when I first got divorced, that I had this little efficiency apartment in Montrose, and it was right by the Walgreens off of Montrose. I swear to God, I lived off Walgreens food for a year. So if it wasn't at Walgreens, I wasn't eating it, which is disgusting.
Yes, but it's also kind of impressive that
Yeah.
you pulled that off. I always like to get like a tortilla with a piece of cheese on it and microwave
Hell yes,
that. and
hell
then
yes. That's
roll
like
it up.
roll up.
cheesy
Yeah.
roll up all day. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Like
Really?
Kraft single. I used to do like Kraft single in there. Now I have like better cheese.
Real cheese.
Yeah.
I never liked Kraft singles, even as a kid. It really freaked me out. The texture.
The texture of
Yeah,
it
it
is
is
so
Like,
weird.
It shouldn't be shiny. First of all.
Yes, there
And
is
it
a
shouldn't
sheen.
like jiggle when you do this.
And the
when you
impression
touch-
of the
yeah.
packaging is on it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it's
Yeah.
you're like, did you squirt it in the packaging?
It was-
Probably it's not even called cheese. It's called a pasteurized cheese product. And I remember when I was little, I didn't like grilled cheeses because everyone at everyone's house they made it with Kraft
Kraft
singles,
singles,
and
yeah.
it weirded me out. It wasn't until I was an adult and living on my own that I realized I could make a grilled cheese with like Havarti.
It's so good.
And I was like, this shit's amazing.
You make a good like fancy elevated grilled cheese.
Yeah, I put like tomato in it. I put a
Yes.
fried egg on top with the
That sounds
balsamic
de-
glaze.
Dude,
Yeah.
stop. That sounds
I-
good.
I'll-
I,
yeah.
you cooking, dude. Look
Yeah.
at you.
I love to cook.
You do.
You're a good cook.
Yeah.
I inherited my mom. I hate to cook. I'm not good at it. I don't like it.
no baking either.
I don't like to bake. It's too exact.
It is a science.
Yeah. Like for my son, I make like last night he had like a pile of strawberries, a pile of cucumbers, and macaroni and cheese. I don't know.
That's
you know,
good.
That's
That's
I can
great.
chop up fruits and vegetables, and that's healthy. So that that's what I do for the health side. And then
All you really got to do is chop up the veggies and just stick them in the oven.
I
Just
do like
them.
roasted vegetables.
That's
yeah.
the best.
Same.
I'll get a little bit of I like it when it's kind of burnt.
Same.
Yeah.
Like burnt Brussels sprouts.
Yes.
So good.
I love
Love
some
me a
burnt Brussels
Brussels.
sprouts. Yeah.
Or like cauliflower, a
Yeah.
little bit of char on the top.
I don't like cauliflower that much.
Really?
Yeah. But I didn't eat hardly any vegetables growing up. Did y'all eat good? Like, were your parents cooks? Did your mom cook?
Our mom was kind of like an almond mom a little bit.
She didn't start that way. So when we were first growing up, it was more like what you would see in a typical American house, and then
fish sticks.
Yeah, a lot of fish
and
sticks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chef Boyardee.
Yes. Oh, I love
ravioli.
and then she
Lots of frozen peas and carrots, I think.
Yes.
But it was not like super unhealthy. She still was like
no, but
terrified of us eating candy.
it
Yeah.
was a bit more normal. But then she went through a phase where she started thinking more about like what she was putting in her own body, and then she got cancer and went like really, really into the whole
Health.
what your diet is what's gonna happen to you. Like
Yeah,
she became
food
like,
is medicine. Yeah.
yeah, she was like, if I go vegan, it's gonna cure the cancer, and like
Did she go
this
vegan?
is when you were in college, but I was in the
Yeah,
house with her. There was a time where she did for a little
Wow.
while, but like after that, it got like really intense with like
Understandably so.
no fat in anything.
Yeah. Oh wow.
No, barely any salt.
Yeah.
Barely any sugar. Like
Yeah, your mom's super thin, isn't she?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Skinny
And-
legend.
Skinny legend.
And what kind of cancer did she have?
She had bladder cancer.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so she fully recovered. All is well. Yeah.
She did. She had a surgery, and they kind of botched it a little bit. So
Oh,
she
no.
had to have like a catheter for a while. I
Yeah.
remember that. But then that all got solved. And
That's good.
she's been cancer free for over 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
doing
got to be
good.
scary though. I can't, I've seen it up close, but I can't imagine being diagnosed with it. You know?
Yeah, shit really scared her.
It was really scary.
Understandably.
Yeah.
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 I remember there would be days in the house where it was just, because my dad worked late and Hannah was at college. It was just me and her, and she'd be like crying from room to room, like freaking out. And I'd be like, Mom, like trying to like help her.
Because you're like, I guess I'm gonna die. You know?
Yeah, and I was like, I guess she's gonna die, but it was a benign
Yeah, yeah,
tumor,
yeah.
so as long as they got it out and like kept checking up on it, she was gonna be fine.
Yeah, my dad has had prostate cancer. He had his prostate removed, and so I'm just like, my mom had cancer, my dad had cancer. I'm like, guess who's getting cancer?
Yeah. A lot of people, if you live long enough,
you're gonna get cancer. I know, it's true. But now, I mean, your dude's working on wants to work on cancer vaccines.
He's working on an mRNA vaccine for cancer.
I mean, it's more.
Make sure that works.
I know. I said I'm getting older.
Yeah.
Fucking get on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
They're just in like a trial.
But there are
now.
some vaccines for cancers right now. Like there's a new one for pancreatic cancer. The
cool.
HSPVA, the
HPV.
the HPV. Yeah. The High School for Visual Performing Arts.
Yeah, if you don't want to end up like Beyonce.
Yeah.
You might get HPV if you go there.
If you go there, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
We do have to wrap.
Yes. Thank
but-
you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on.
Yes.
Where can we find you? Do you have anything you want to plug?
When will this come out?
This is gonna come out this Thursday on the
Yeah, next Thursday.
the 9th.
Okay, I'll just say that I have a solo art exhibition up right now at Seven Sisters. That's up, I think, until May 11th, maybe. So if you want to go see some art, check it out.
I want to go see that.
Yeah, if you're in Houston, go check that out.
Yeah.
And also, Emily performs comedy all over the city as well. Are you still running a show?
No. With the art stuff happening, I stepped away from running a show because it was just too much. Booking is.
Yeah.
It's not the performing, it's the booking that
Yeah.
I don't enjoy. It's like, fuck, I got to 5-7 comedians this week and it's tomorrow, you know?
That's why we only book like 4 or 5 now.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
F it. And I'm not doing more than that.
Well, and then I realized later, like, someone was like, just make it a hang, just book your friends. And I was like, that's what I should have been doing.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much. Guys, thanks for listening to another episode of What Moms Say. We'll see you next Thursday. Bye.
Bye.